Informational video on our great sponsor here at Trader TV Live, Day Trade the World, where we are continuing the conversation regarding the advantages of not only trading on a trading floor, but the advantages of learning on a trading floor. And specifically today, we're going to discuss the advantages of learning in a group setting. Partner recruitment specialist Yuri joining us once again to have a great conversation today. As we mentioned, Yuri, on an important topic, and we're going to bring in Neal here to kick things off on the advantages, as I said, of learning in a group setting. Here's Neal.
Hi, Yuri.
Hi, Neal. Yeah, basically, morning to you guys there. So, yeah, this is a great topic to discuss. I believe even now that the pandemic is a little bit slowing down, so people can get back to trading in an office. So you are the best person to discuss this based on the fact that you run an office and in Toronto as a manager for a couple of years. Can you just tell us about the advantages of hiring and training traders working in group together?
Absolutely, Yuri. And look, one of the most important things, and we've talked about the support all the time here at Day Trade the World. So it can be daunting for some people to think about, oh, I'm now managing 20 people when I open an office, or I'm managing 10 or 15 people. Just remember, there is that LMS. It is there. There is the simulator as well. All those resources are there. But the most important thing to consider when you're talking about trading is, and you've heard this stat thrown out there from time to time, some people will say it's like 10% of traders are successful, or 5% or 20%. It doesn't really matter. The point is, it's not an easy thing to do, right? And that's why you have this support, the LMS, but this is also why we talk about hiring in groups at Day Trade the World, because it can be difficult to find traders. And ultimately, if you hire one or two people, and that success rate of 20%, which is a good rate, you're not giving yourself the odds of finding those successful traders. Then, of course, you ask yourself, but what happens when these traders lose, the ones that lose money? That's where LMS and TMS come in. The simulator, you're able to put people in a simulator for months at a time, so they have a better chance of being profitable when they go live. And if you have a group of people in that simulator at the same time, they can motivate each other a little bit. It limits the amount of losses. What I'm highlighting right now is actually the beginning training, because this is key. I started at a time when this was not there. And I can tell you, hiring in a group of 20 people. I was in a 20-person group. I remember sitting in the classrooms when Shawn was teaching us the absolute basics, and doing it with a group of 20 people and having to cover those tedious market basic points. It can be much, but here you have introductory trainer trading. You're going to have webinars that go specifically into things like setting up a keyboard, stock window, and time and sales. All of those are there to reinforce the lessons that you learn. And suddenly, when you hire in a group, the ability for each individual in that group to go back, look at one of these webinars. Maybe they didn't get the keyboard set up as well. Maybe they didn't understand the bid ask and level 2. They can always go back and on their own reinforce that. So it speeds up that process for that manager, so that you're not teaching in a classroom at the pace of the slowest learner. Everyone is sort of able to catch themselves up, because this is all available even on their own time in that system. So the benefit is there, the resources are there, the numbers suggest that you want to hire groups to increase your chances of finding profitable traders, and you're limiting those losses by putting them in the simulator.
Yeah, basically, you started talking about with the chances of being profitable, the success rate. I've always seen this as a controversial topic, because every business, there's no guarantee of 100% success. You have to fight through it. You have to do it the right way for you to be successful. So we provide this opportunity to everyone to be able to have a group of people working together. I think working together makes them exchange, knowledge and experience, and it's going to increase their chances. So I'm going to say, what one aspect, of learning or working in group would you best say can increase that low statistics success rate, but I know, I believe working together increases it, but one best aspect would you consider that actually encourage that?
This is going to be from personal experience. I have to say, when I started trading years and years ago, I was hired in a group, and it was a group of 20. And I traded Oracle and Cisco and some of the tech names, and I was drawing trend lines and thinking I was going to be this great early on momentum trader in the Nasdaq, and that was going to be my start. Now, it turned out that while I was profitable, I wasn't necessarily making those next steps, and I was introduced, because I had a good sense of risk. Then that group mentality, there were other traders that were trading some small cap names that my strength lent to. And it was in talking to them and being encouraged by the manager to learn some of that style because it would fit me, that led me towards trading penny stocks and small cap names. And I was instantly, like at the first month I made that transition after learning from those other traders. At first month, I mean, I graduated that first month that I made the transition and then moved forward. And then suddenly when that stopped working, another trader on the floor said, hey, this style that you're really, really good at, I trade these leveraged buyouts. And now that is something I've done for like 15 or 20 years. So myself, a lot of the learning at the beginning was keying off of some ideas that were on the floor, talking to other traders. It's such an invaluable source. I mean, everyone's familiar with the adage of the retail trader sitting at home in their basement by themselves, right? And the trading floor is the opposite of that. But it's only true if you actually hire in groups. You can have 10 people on the floor, but if everyone comes in on their own and you sort of integrated in that fashion, it's difficult. I was hired with a large group. I still have friends from that group. 3 or 4 of them are still actually trading 20 years down the line or in the business, and we all keep in touch. We all learned from each other. Every single person, was able and felt comfortable because we all started at that same time. Knowing essentially nothing about day trading, we understood the markets, and we felt comfortable sharing those ideas, going through those pitfalls. It's a huge experience, and I think you're doing yourself, I guess, a disservice if you're only hiring 1 or 2 people at a time, because it's not going to help that growth as much as it can. And utilize a simulator because it's not going to be as expensive. It's just that fixed cost of the PC.
Yeah, basically, you hit the point there, which is better to hire in a large group than just 1 or 2 traders. That increase your chances of success rate. Now, let's shift a little bit the focus to the manager. So the manager now, we want to talk about the summary ability. Can you give us any tip that could guide the manager, to be able to monitor as many traders as possible, and for it to be successful as a successful manager or run a successful office?
And I'll do this in 2 parts here, because first I want to remind everybody, and I went right to the beginning, went to those webinars that are available, and LMS, there's new manager trading. So understanding the abilities of the platform is important, because the summary in P-Pro 8 is set up for managers to help you manage groups. But if you don't understand how it helps you do that, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And go to also the P-Pro 8 manual and the wiki is going to give you a good look as well. Understand what it's going to do for you. There is the summary. You can always just open it right up and then read all about the summary and how it allows you to manage traders, looking at P&L, displaying some important aspects of some important metrics that are out there. The best and most important thing about the manager summary is the fact that you can see both real-time all positions on the floor. You can see real-time all orders on the floor, including script orders. You can do that by looking at the entire floor at once, by looking at individual trader at a time. I'll tell you, when I set mine up, I tend to sort it by allowed stop loss, so the highest risk traders show up at the top for me, and I watch the entire floor at a time. You can also look at how close they are to their shutdown. You're able to flatten positions if you have to. Of course, there is the risk system as well, which automatically flattens traders when they get past their daily loss limit. So if you're wondering, but I'm sitting there managing 20 people, yeah, sure, I noticed they're getting too far out there. They hit their daily loss. I hit that flatten tool to cover them because I don't want them losing more. Well, that's not usually what you're using the flatten tool for. Right? Like you're only going to use that, someone kicks out their, and it's actually happened a couple of times. Someone kicks out the cord in their PC and they lose connection and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to get flat. Something crazy happens like that, you can get them flat. But the risk system is going to control those losses. So Yes, that backstop is there. It's always good to have redundancies, but customize your summary to display the information that you want it to show. I like sorting it by the riskiest traders at the top. It sorts by asset class, so your futures traders can be in one spot, and your equity traders in another spot. It's a fantastic resource, but dig into the wiki to make sure you customize it the way that you want it.
Great, great. Now I'm finishing on the risk management and the MPP. That's the monthly profit projection. As a manager, you have the control, automated control over the risk level of your traders. I would like you to just, give us an example of maybe the worst scenario that you faced on the floor when you were managing traders, group of traders, and the risk system.
So, I can tell you this, there is one particular trader who was successful for years, which is a little bit crazy, because I'll tell you the profile of this trader was, if they were wrong, they tended to lose up to the point of their daily loss limit. There were very few down $100 days for this trader. There were very few down $500 days. Their loss limit was 1,000 or 1,500. This trader was losing 1,000, 1,500 when they were wrong. So to say that they were consistently positive over the span of 5 or 6 years doesn't seem possible, but this was true for that trader. I can tell you that managing a trader like that would have been impossible without the MPP system, quite frankly. And this was a profitable trader that, again, you wouldn't think would be. But because the monthly profit projection is constantly adjusting, it's your last 14 days that it takes, it kicks out the worst two, gives you an average daily trade. So as you fluctuate up and down, it is going to give a loss limit one day of 1,000 for some traders, 500 the next day. So what ended up happening is when this trader would be in a slump, hitting that daily loss limit would be just a little bit lower each time, right? So they weren't losing as much. And then this trader had an unbelievable ability to go from 0 to 100 and scale up, as you can imagine. So when they did well, they would explode to the upside and then have their downside quickly controlled when they fell into a slump. That was the only thing that would save them, because they were very good at maxing out. The other thing, and I want to go back to sort of managing. There's one thing I didn't talk about here, because you might ask yourself, okay, well, I gave you an example of when the trader kicks out their cord. And then you want to use your manager summary, and you can flatten, so it allows you to manage multiple traders. But what happens, because Day Trade the World can't control your own internet connection at your office per se, or the power, which is what I'm going to talk about here. So what happens in a situation when you have 20 traders on a trading floor, all in open positions, and then maybe there's your local power company or cable company is doing something out back and then knocks your system down. What do you do in that situation? I can tell you, because it happened to us. I still had a static view of all the positions on my floor. I was immediately able to contact trade support, and within, I'd say, minutes, I want this trader flattened. I was still looking at my summary. I want this position flattened on Apple for this trader. I want this order canceled for this trader. And I was able to do that in a matter of minutes with our trade floor support. There is another layer of support there, guys. So that's the key thing. You want to play the percentages by hiring multiple traders. You want to have that group effect. You want to utilize that summary to your best advantage, to manager and monitor traders. You can even look at an individual trader's order flow as they're putting out orders if you want to judge their trading. But at the end of the day, there are all these various levels of support that make it less daunting to manage 20 people at one time. It's not all on you. You have trade support real time. You've got the system, the risk MPP system, which will stop traders out. You can also, in the worst case scenario, you're able to even call and text in if you absolutely had to, guys. So it's a fantastic resource. Unfortunately, over 20 years of trading, like I've seen random things like that. It happened one time, we lost that power, and it was an absolute, it was a save, because flatten all wasn't the solution in that particular case. Traders had positions they wanted to manage, and to be able to have the resources to manage those positions in a worst case scenario was unbelievable. For 20 traders, I mean, it can seem daunting, but believe me, the support's there.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Neal, for breaking down the advantages of operating a trading office with us. I would like to finish on this note. It's better running the trading office because with us, you have so many advantages, you have so many benefits group of traders and guidance. We have the TFD that are going to assist you. You have technical support. And the one you just broke down now, they can just contact us and we'll be able to flatten all position if you have power failure or internet failure. So you have so many benefits of operating a trading office, and that will absolutely increase the success rate. Okay, so that is all that we have to end it on. Thank you, and I can leave it over to Brendan.
Thanks a lot. You're fantastic as always.
Partner recruitment specialist Yuri joining us once again, talking about some great points and great information. Thanks once again, Yuri. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
There we go, guys. A look at some of the advantages and great advantages of not only running and owning and operating a Day Trade the World trading floor, but learning in that group environment. It's so key. Here's Valeria.
Hey guys, thank you for this helpful information. Dear viewers, please subscribe to this channel to see more great videos.